Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel again. And this time I am doing this Flutter video to tell you about more widgets which we haven't covered yet. And the thing is that there are so many widgets which we have covered till now, but still there are few very important widgets which we haven't talked about yet. And those widgets can be very helpful for you because they are very small, but they can be very powerful when performing some things there can be some situation when when you need to use those dialogs, alert dialogs or snack bars. So we will cover those, and because of there is no so much tutorial or document about that, so that is why I want to cover those. And we will also cover about the bottom navigation bar, how it should be. Then we will also talk about tabs, how the tab should be look like, and how we can do how we can make them. And we'll also try to focus on stepper, how we can use steppers. So these are all the things. These are small things, but they can make a good impact because we are dealing with material design, so we should be aware of all the material design components. So let's start with this video. We will start with a new project and we will try to implement all of these small components, and trust me, they can be very beneficial for you. So let's start with a new project. I'll say Command Shift P and I will say Flutter. Okay, and I can say here utils. Okay, so it is like a utility, so we can say Flutter utils, and this will create a project for me in the first place, and it should be sufficient for me. Okay, so we have this main.dart till the time it is building. So what is the use of this kind of stuff? Like snackbar is another way of showing toast, you can say. So if you are already aware of the Android SDK, or you have done some Android development earlier, then you must be aware of snack bars. If you're not, then it is like a toast which comes from the bottom, and with a dark background. It is mostly black, and it gives a good feel to you for showing. Like you can see this in Gmail. You can see all the things in Gmail because Gmail is fully having all the material design components as far as I have observed. So it has all the components and everything is very well developed in that application. So let's focus on this project and let's try to take a look on these dialogs or snack bars, so we can understand how we can implement that. So let's just run this project once, and we will have the same, as you know, the counter application which comes by default with Flutter. So let's not worry about that. So what I will do after that, I'll just remove all this code and we'll start with a new project. So let's just wait for a few seconds, and yeah, it is done. So we have this project up and running and we don't need to worry about anything. So let's just scratch it. Okay, so we have this package. Okay, flutter slash material dot, that is good. Now we can have this void main. Okay, and here we can have run app as well, and here we can say new. Let's give it here the material app. Okay, so we can write here this semicolon, and here we can have some widgets, of course. Like we can have theme, so we can say new theme. This is also kind of component to me, at least. If it is not for you, then it's totally your wish. Okay, so we have this primary switch, and I'm not going to implement this for Android and iOS both, because maybe you can you can take a look if you want, but let's see if we would have a sufficient time, then we will look for both of the operating systems. So we have this theme. Now we can have a home as well, so we can say new home page, let's say. Now let's create this home page first of all. So I am making it a stateful widget, but because I will use so many examples in this example only, so let's make it stateful widget so that we can have a better look about this. We don't have to write this the another widget for state, so this works for stateless as well, so that is why we are using this. So we have this scaffold, and we can have a app bar as well. So I am just doing the initial steps which anyone can do. So we can say utils app. Okay, this looks good. Okay, now we can have a home as well, so we can say, oh sorry, body as well. So we can say here new scaffold. Okay, and here in this scaffold, sorry, we will have a container, let's say. So here in the container, because we are already in the scaffold, in the container, let's say we have a child, and that child is new raised button, let's say, which is on pressed, saying that let's say print print am pressed. Okay, so this is what we have till now, and let's see what the thing happening here is that it is not understanding it, because we need to maybe rerun it. So let's just rerun this application again so that we can see some of, at least some of it on our simulator. So basically we have not yet started implementing our components, so let's just wait for 1 or 2 minutes, maybe more. So guys, so this is what we have, guys. We have this raised button here which is looking quite odd. So let's wrap it with a new widget which we can say center, so that it can be in the center. And here we can also have a child where we can say this is a new text which can say click me. Okay, and we can also give it a color, I guess, and we can say colors dot because it is saying click me, so let's give it a red accent. Okay, or it's looking not good, so let's give it a dark color, so dark or deep, or let's say we can say indigo. Oh, it is looking so bad. Okay, so let's give it again that red accent, and let's change the text color from here, where we can say style is equal to new text style. Okay, and where we can say color is equal to colors dot white. Okay, so we have this click me, and when we are clicking on it, so let's open this debug console, let's click on it, and it is saying that I am pressed here in the console. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so we first of all we will see how we can implement the snack bar here. Okay, so for this button, let's just remove this line of code, and rather let's use we can use the snack bar. So how we will use the snack bar, that is the question right now. So what we can use here, we have this scaffold here, so we can use scaffold dot off. Okay, this gives us this context, and then it has that show snack bar method where we can have actually, okay, this is looking good, I guess. So we can here say new snack bar, and what it takes, let's see, it takes a content and it takes an action as well. So for the content we can okay, sorry. So for the content we can say new, okay, and we can say text, and here we can write I am pressed, okay, uh, or let's just not call it, let's say you clicked me. Okay, this looks much better. Okay, so we have this content. Now this is having animation and duration, lot of stuff. So we can say new duration, and here let's give it a seconds value, which can be like 3, so 2 or 3 seconds, which you wish. So we have this duration now, and we can have an action as well if we want. So let's not just add action right now, you can add it later, because when we click on the any operation, then what happens, that is all about action. So let's click on it. Oh, nothing happening. So why nothing is happening? Because maybe are we using multiple lines? No, we are not. I don't know. Let's just reload this thing and click me. So this is giving me an exception here. Another exception was thrown scaffold.off called with a context that does not contain a scaffold. Okay, so it is giving me some kind of unusual error, maybe because it is saying that what it is saying, I mean, I don't understand totally what does this means, but this is saying that the scaffold.off called with a context that does not contain a scaffold. Okay, so basically we are inside a scaffold, that may be the reason. So we can say this dot off, what we can say then, scaffold is should be scaffold, right, dot off. Ooh, this looks a little bit tricky, I guess. Why this is even happening, I don't know. So what we can do, okay, because we haven't created this scaffold yet, that might be the reason this is happening on the first place. Yeah, that can happen. So what we can do here is, let's say this this raised button child, let's just remove it from here, or we can just remove this whole body from here. Let's say we just copy this whole container from here, and let's make it a new body, new my body. Okay, so what will happen now after this, we would be able to, let's say we have another stateless widget. Okay, here we can say my my body, and here we can just replace it with our code. This looks good, and this is the same, but this have the context of this scaffold which we have used earlier. So now it should work. Or this is working. You clicked me, you can see the snake bar on the bottom. So basically what we were doing earlier was that we had this one scaffold only, which is the root of it, and we need the root access for showing the snack bar. So we were doing the same thing in the root, and that context was not able to give this scaffold because it was not yet completed. So now here we have another context, and we can pass that context to this scaffold, and then we can show the snack bar. Okay, so this was about the snack bar. Let's talk about one more thing, which is the alert dialog. So rather than showing this snack bar, what we can show, let's just remove this code, or we can just this was yeah. So we can just comment this code, and we can again implement the same code, but this time what we will do, we will use this to show a dialog maybe. Okay, so here the thing is, like, how can we show the dialog? Okay, so there is a method here which we can say show dialog. Okay, and here what it takes a child and it takes a context. Okay, so we have the context here as context. Okay, and now we need to give it a child which is basically which takes a dialog, a widget to display. Okay, so this function typically receives a dialog widget. So let's come here and make a dialog. So we can say alert dialog. Okay, we can say dialog is equal to new alert dialog. Okay, that is cool. And here this alert dialog takes some parameters, I guess. So it takes some actions, it takes a content. So right now we are not concerned about actions, so let's add a content. Sorry for this, auto completion is not good for me here, I guess. So here in the content we can say new text. Okay, and we can say dialog is up. Okay, and here we can also give it a style, like say give it a font size, a proper font size. So we can write like new style font size, and let's give it a 30 font size, let's say. Okay, what now we need to do, we will say here we want to use this dialog here. Okay, now let's just click on this, click me, and you can see the dialog is up. You can also specify some actions here. This is totally your choice. And let's add some more action thing, like it has a title as well, and it has a padding for that title also. So let's just try this new text, and we can add hello. Okay, so now let's just click me, and you can see this hello and dialog is up. So this is how we can implement dialogs. Okay, so now we will go further. So we are done with this dialog, then we were done with the snack bar. Right now what we can do, we can also have some steps. So if you're not aware of steps, what are steps? So there are like a tutorial kind of stuff which we can use into our application as well. So for that, what we will do, we can have, let's just delete this all stuff, because we don't actually need it. We were just using it for this this kind of stuff which we were dealing with, like dialog or snack bar. So let's go back to our body here. So rather than returning this new body, we will do the same thing, like a new container. Okay, and here in container, let's it has a child property, and we can say new stepper. Okay, this is what stepper is all about, because this stepper takes some like it has some steps, and it takes some current step, like these are all the properties. So we can say we need some steps here first of all. So what we can do here, we can say, let me just scroll it up, and let's just, okay, yeah, this is working. Okay, let's, so we need some steps. So we can say here new. Okay, we should have a list of steps, I guess. So we can say new list of, okay, we can say step. This looks good. Yeah, this looks good too. What do you think? So we have this list of step, and here I guess we can have why it is not taking it. Let me just see. This steps takes this list of step as far as I know. Why it is not able to understand what. Okay, so let's say new step here first of all. Maybe then it will be good with this. The type step can't be assigned to the parameter type list step. Why is that? I mean, I don't know why this is not working on the first place, but it should have worked, right? If I write like this, okay, so let's say if I write it like list step, okay, that is what I was doing now. So it should not work in that way. So let's just add like this only, and maybe this is this. No, so let's try to add some step first, then only we can understand why this is not even working. So we can have first step here, and here we can say it has a title also. So let's say a title, and here we can say new text of step 1. Okay, then we can have a content as well. Here we can say another text some content 1. Okay, we can write anything here. Okay, and there is another property which is this wait, okay, there is another property which is this is active. Oh, and here we can say it like it is true. Okay, so this is one step of us. Similarly we can have multiple steps. Okay, so the thing is that it is still not able to understand why I am doing this. So we need to identify why this is not even working in the first place. So what we can do, we can just copy this thing here from here, and we can just remove this. Okay, and here on the top let's have this list of steps. Okay, let's say my steps, and we can just paste those steps here. Yeah, that is working for this scenario I guess. And let's add this. Okay, so let's just copy this whole step, and what we can do, we can add another step here which is like this. Okay, this is good, and here we can write step 2 and content 2. Okay, and the second one is also is active is true, and we can have one more step, let's say. Okay, and here we can say step 3 and the content is 3. Okay, that's correct. So we have this much steps, and apart from that, let's take an integer here which we can say current step, which should be 0 initially. Okay, so we have the current step as 0, and now let's move to the bottom here. We can just delete this. Okay, and we can say here this is equal to my steps. So this looks good, and now you can see that here is steps or step 1, step 2, step 3, and I can click on these steps. So this is looking good. Now we have some more properties of steps. So let's go back here, and we can say current step, and because it is 0 right now, so we can also say this is what happening. I don't understand. Okay, so we can say it like this dot current step. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, so we have the current step as well. Now we have the steps, we have the current step. Now we can also specify a type for it, which we can say stepper type dot vertical or horizontal. It's all your choice, because we are dealing with vertical, so we will say vertical. And there can be many things apart from that, like it can have on step cancel, on step tap, on step continue. So you can also use those to implement all these steps however if you want to do this. So this is about the steps, you can use this. Now let's so this is all about steps, you don't have to do anything apart from that. So it may be it is not quite often that you use steps until unless it is required, but there can be some scenarios when you can use it. So that is why I just covered it, otherwise you can just ignore if you want. Okay, so let's go back to another thing, which can be, I guess, the bottom navigation bar maybe. So should we cover that? Yeah, so let's just delete this part of code from this container to here. Okay, this looks good. Now let's add some data to body. So what we will do, we are making bottom navigation bar. So let's add here new tab bar view, which is actually for this any bottom navigation we can use for tab navigation, which can be bottom tab or another tab. And here it takes some property like children widget, and here we can have some pages which we want to show when we just scroll through those bars. So let's make a page maybe. Okay, so what we can do, we can have a page here itself, we don't have to go anywhere. So let's say any stateless widget, we can say new page. Okay, here we can say it is a scaffold kind of widget. Here we can say it has a body, new center, where we can say, and as a child, what just happens, we can say new text. Okay, and here we can say like it is a, we can say a title. Okay, let's give it a title. Right, now we can have a string here, final string title, and we can also have a constructor for this. You can say this dot title. Okay, now here we can pass some like a new page, and title would be first. Okay, right, and we can have many new pages like this. So we can say new page, and title would be second. Okay, so we have this tab bar view. Now this tab bar view also needs a controller. Okay, so what we need to do, we can say here that we need a controller, which we can say tab controller. Okay, and we can name it as controller, or we can say tab controller would be much good name. Okay, so we have this tab controller. Now we need to initialize one more thing, or we need to override this method, which is basically the init state method, where we can say void init state. Okay, and here we can say super dot init state. This looks good, and of course this looks good. And here we can initialize the tab controller. So we can say tab controller is equal to new tab controller. So this takes length, which is for right now this has 2 length, and it also takes this vsync. What's just happening, man? This is so annoying. Okay, so it also takes a vsync, and we can say this vsync is this. Okay, This should work. What wrong we did? So this is what we need to do. It should work. Why it is not working? Because this we need to provide an animation to use this vsync. So we can here say with a single ticker. So if you're not aware of this animation kind of stuff, then you can watch my login page video where I have teach you how to use animation. So we have this tab controller now. We need to dispose this controller as well, so we will override another method. This is just a good practice. If you won't do it, then there can be some memory leaks, and there can be some problems as well. So we have this dispose, it should be disposed. So we have this method dispose. Now here we can say on the top tab controller dot dispose, okay, and then dispose, and here we can say super dot dispose. Okay, so that's it. We need to do this. Now we need to pass this controller here. So we can say here this is a controller, and we can say here tab controller. Okay, so we have everything ready here. Now if we just restart the app, then let's see whether this works or not. Okay, so we have the controller now, we have this body now. Now it takes one more thing, which is this if we talk about this scaffold, where it is, yeah, here it is. So this scaffold takes drawer, and it has another property, which is this bottom navigation bar. Okay, and here you can say let's say new material. Okay, this material takes a child. Okay, and here you can say this child is like new tab bar. Okay, and here in the tab bar you can have so many tabs. So let's see. Yeah, there is a tabs widget, and here you can have your widgets. So you can say new tab. Okay, and you can say icon is equal to new icon, and you can choose any icon from here. So like we can say icons dot favorite. Okay, and you can have more tabs. So let's just copy this code here and paste it, and because we have two tabs, so we can say here like icon dot email. Okay, so let's just close this and rerun this application. And one more thing which we have forgot is that we need to set up the controller for this bottom navigation bar as well. So we have this new material, and here we can say the there should be, so this is our tab bar. We have this child here. We don't have that this should be inside this bottom navigation bar, I guess. But let's see in the new tab bar what we have. Yeah, we should have the controller here. Yeah, we have this controller here, and we can say tab controller. Okay, so we have all the stuff ready. Now let's just rerun this app so that we can see whether this is working or not. So this is just a very basic app. We have this tab controller, we have this tab bar view, and we have this dummy page here, which is what we are using in this tab bar view children, and we are passing the same tab controller to this bottom navigation bar. So here guys, see, there is a bottom navigation in the bottom, but because of its background color you might not be able to see it. So here is one more property, which is color. So I can use this color, and we can say colors dot teal. Let's refresh it, and here now you can see this bottom navigation bar. Here it is written as first, let's click on this and it is second. Now let's click on this again, first, it is second, and this is looking pretty cool. If you swipe, then also it will work like this. Okay, so this is about this bottom navigation bar, and it looks quite interesting if you see it. Yeah, this is how we implement the bottom navigation bar, and this will also work in any of situation, like you can use it in Android as well, and you can use if you have multiple pages to show, so it actually works for many situations. And that's it, you don't have to do anything. So one more thing is there, like this is how you can use this what it says, this bottom navigation bar. But you can this takes so now if you want to represent this inside this tab, then just copy this new material and just cut it from here. Now let's remove this bottom navigation bar from here. Okay, and let's move to this app bar. Okay guys, and here if you see, it has a widget should be there, which is this bottom. Okay, so this bottom, let's paste this whole code. Okay, will it take it? So no, it is not taking this material. But what we can do here, we can have something like a new tab bar maybe. So what we can do, we can just remove this material from here, and one second guys. So let's just remove this material from here. Okay, and also this. Okay, so we have now this tab bar. Let's just refresh it and see, you have now the bottom navigation bar is converted to this tab bar, which you have already seen in many applications, and this will work exactly the same which the bottom navigation bar was working. So this is how you implement the navigation bar, sorry, tab bar, sorry for that again. And the bottom navigation bar was quite clear. So both of this performs the same almost. It's totally your choice which widget you want to pick. And so we have seen till now the navigation drawer, we have seen this snack bar, we have seen alert dialog, we have seen snackbars, we have seen the tab bar, bottom navigation bar. So this covers almost every material design widget. Let's add one more which will complete it totally. So here in the body, apart from body, you have this floating action button as well. So let's add that floating action button. It takes a child as well. So here we can say new text, new icon, let's say, and we can say icons dot add, maybe add. Okay, so here we can see we have this child as this floating action button, and here we can add a background color. Let's change this background color to something else. Let's color it like dot orange accent maybe, and it looks pretty cool here. And when you click on it, you can perform some operation by this on pressed method of it. And let's do one thing, we can print something, and let's say FAB pressed. Okay, so we have this floating action button. Now let's move to this console, debug console, and let's click on it, and you can see FAB pressed. Okay, so this is how you will implement every material design widget, and it works pretty well. And before that, let me just take a screenshot of this. Okay, so this looks cool. There is a lot of things you can do apart from this. There are a lot of widgets which can be useful for some of you, so you can check them out. And I'll also try to cover in more videos some more widgets, but these are the basic widgets which we use in daily life as a app developer. As an app developer, we use it regularly. So that is all about it, guys. If you like the video, please like that, press that like button, and also subscribe to this channel if you are wanting that I should upload more videos, and that those videos should be, you should get an update for those videos. So you should subscribe to this channel, and also give stars to GitHub projects, and almost you can like all the videos if you are loving the videos, and comment if you have any questions. So that's it, guys. Thank you. Bye bye and take care. Peace.